Well, here we are. Now, I don't know if you were like me, but the last 20 minutes of Across the Spider Verse, anxiety. Like, my anxiety was through the roof because not only is it a race for Miles against time, like, he is trying to save his father, he's trying to stop the cannon from taking his father away from him. At the same time, he just escaped basically fighting against all of the spider members of Spider Society. He makes it back to his own dimension. He is web slinging for his life. But while he's web slinging, he's dealing with his own anxiety and he's seeing the spot everywhere. And he finally makes it back to his apartment. He gets into the apartment. He reveals to his mother that he's Spider Man. And it's like, oh my God. Like, a pressure is at that moment taken off of our chest, only to be instantaneously reapplied when his mother asks him, who's Spider Man? And he realizes, and we realize, that he was not sent back to his birth dimension. He was sent back to the spider's dimension. And in walks Uncle Aaron. Now, I'm not going to fake. When Uncle Aaron walked through the doors, I was like, please don't let this be a dimension where Aaron and his mother were the ones who got together. No, he walks in, and I don't know if you've ever been in that type of situation before, or you ever grew up in that type of household. But when Aaron walked in and his mother was super stressed out, and he puts the money on the table, instantaneously, growing up in a black household, I went, his father is dead, and his mother is raising him solo, and she's working overtime, so she doesn't have the time to basically dedicate to make sure that Miles is going down the right path. And that's more or less confirmed when they make it up to the rooftops and he sees the mural in his home universe that should have been of Uncle Aaron, but instead it's a mural of his father, showing that his father died in this universe. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea how Miles didn't realize that he was in the wrong universe, because when you get a broader view of the universe as a whole, when Miles is looking out, you see Oscorp, you see Alchemex, you see all of these hostile corporations that Spider-Man basically fights in his own universe, dominating the skyline. Everything is on fire, it's grimy, it's crime ridden. This world, to put it bluntly, is fucked up. And then he gets knocked out, and I'm like, oh my God. What's going on here? Who did he get jumped by? Like, did Miguel catch him? Did he get jumped by, like, this universe's goblin? And it's the subtlety of the scene, because when Miles wakes up, he's trying to plead to Aaron, like, hey, let me go. Like, I gotta go back. I gotta save my father. And Aaron pauses, and then he goes back to working on what he was working on. And we think that, oh, this version of Aaron is cold. He's more of a killer, something along those lines. But then he reveals he's not the Prowler, and he turns the punching bag that Miles is basically attached to, and we see up in the rafters the Prowler. And the question becomes, who the fuck is this guy? Hops down, mask comes off, it's another Miles. It's the Miles from that universe. Now, my heart was racing. Like, my man Miles was in danger, and I was terrified for the danger that Miles was in. But at the exact same time, I was super intrigued, because for the most part, it's heavily implied that this version of Miles was supposed to be Spider-Man. And our version of Miles essentially stole that destiny from him. How do we know this? His scheme, the outfit design. His outfit design as the Prowler is very, very Spider-Man-esque. Even from the way in which the eyes are designed, from how the symbol of the Prowler on his chest kind of looks like a spider symbol without any legs. He's even in a Spider-Man pose on the rafters. Before he jumps down, he starts dealing with Miles, which would mean that essentially when the spider was taken from that universe and brought to Miles's universe, the reason why Miles wasn't glitching, the reason why Miles didn't instantaneously die, and the reason why basically he didn't get shunted back to his home universe when he shut down the collider is because the spider bit the person it was supposed to. It just bit the person in the wrong universe. It could be a situation where two things were happening at the exact same time. Uncle Aaron in Earth 42 and Miles were down in the subway, and Miles from 60 and 10 was also down in the subway with his Uncle Aaron. The spider gets pulled from that dimension, dropped into Miles' dimension at the exact same time. It goes, it bites Miles, and infects him the way it was supposed to in the original universe. Now, questions abound. Where is Peter Parker of this Earth? It does not seem as though Peter Parker exists, at least from the outside looking in. That's why I'm so excited for the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, because I really want to see whether or not there is a Peter Parker in this universe, and it's just that this Peter Parker has never encountered Miles in any way, shape, or form. And he's basically doing his best to fight against like all of these villains, but the deck is stacked against him because there isn't a second Spider-Man in this Earth to basically back him up. But at the exact same time, since his mother doesn't know who Spider-Man is, that means that this Earth is the Wild West. There is no Spider-Man. Spider Society has never visited this world. Or Miguel was aware of this world and he told members of Spider Society not to go there. Which means that in the next movie, I really feel like the first 2/3 of the next movie is going to deal with Gwen's team arriving at basically Earth 42 in search of Miles, encountering all of these villains, and helping to kind of make that Earth a better place. It'd be dope as hell if Hobie was just like, yeah, this place is pure anarchy. This is my type. This is my type of Earth. I'm finna stay here. I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't, because Hobie was like one of the best additions to the movie. Like, I feel as though every obscure Spider-Man, like Spider-Punk and Peter Parker. Oh, no, what's his name? Peter. It's a play on Peter Parker, but it's Indian. I'm really hoping that we get more of them in the future. I already know that the end of the movie, we got to see the original crew, which was Kimiko, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, Gwen, Peter B. Parker. I think Peter B. Parker had May on his chest still, web slinging with his like 1-year-old daughter. Then you also had Hobie as Spider-Punk, and you had the Mumbattan Spider-Man, Indian Spider-Man. So that team is going to be dope as hell going to this universe and basically dealing with all of the threats. But I have a feeling this is going to be a story about basically two boys. The next movie is going to be a story about basically two boys. It's going to be a story about Miles, and it's going to be a story about the Miles whose destiny was stolen, and how the loss of his father really shaped him into becoming the Prowler. I feel like the next movie is going to give us the Spider-Man-esque backstory, but it's going to be the Spider-Man-esque backstory for Earth 42 Miles, where we're going to see like everything that basically happened to him that led to him essentially becoming the Prowler and a criminal, like the version that we see at the end of Across the Spider-Verse. And that's going to be dope as hell. But let me know what you thought about the ending of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. If the third movie slaps, this will be the greatest Spider-Man trilogy we have ever received, and I am here for it. But let me know what you thought about it. Comment down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.